Hey, it's Presley. Welcome back to the channel. This video is long overdue, long awaited. It is my coming out story, how I knew I was gay, some coming out advice. I get asked these questions a lot because of my TikTok. So if you follow me on TikTok, you know that I create content around my experiences as a young lesbian woman, and a lot of people have asked me, how'd you tell your parents? How'd you know? How should I go about it? So I figured I'd make this video. Anyone that has those questions, I can just reference them to this video. Alright, so we're going back to 2012 maybe. When me and my brother were younger, we both got tablets in elementary school. He had an iPad, but I just had this Kindle like e-reader thing to read books. I think I could watch YouTube on it. I'd look up different like book categories and you'd see the cover, the title, the genre, the synopsis of the plot, that type of thing. I don't know how it happened, but one day, little second grade me came across books that informed mothers on breastfeeding tips. And I bet you couldn't guess what the cover showed. They showed the big old tatas. Gave my stomach a funny feeling. I was like, I like these covers. So I continued looking up those keywords that fell into breastfeeding. Hopefully this doesn't get like demonetized or taken down by YouTube. I don't know how the guideline works. Look up breastfeeding, boobs, breasts, that type of thing. And when I looked up boobs, it eventually led me to erotica books. Those covers were even more suggestive than the breastfeeding ones because they showed a whole lot more, and it started showing like men too. I had YouTube on there too, and I was like, why look at pictures of this stuff when I can look at videos, which is even more visually stimulating? Opened up that YouTube browser, I typed in what I was typing in before, you know, boobs, that type of thing. Started showing me like girls kissing each other, kissing each other's boobs. Back when YouTube was, you could see softcore. Basically, I realized I've been looking a lot at this like women's stuff, girls with each other. I only knew lesbian as a sexual term based on that context that I had been looking at it. I didn't realize it meant like girls dating girls. I thought it meant like girls just that kissed other girls. I went back to Google. Can't believe I've only been looking at like the women's stuff here. Like I should even it out, right? Like shouldn't I be looking at naked guys too? Looked up like a guy's underwear ad on YouTube on this like rocking chair, and I'm like holding my Kindle and I'm watching it, and my dad comes up and he's like, hey, what are you watching? And I was like, nothing. And he takes the tablet and he sees that I'm looking at men's prints through these underwear ads. And he's like, why are you watching this? And I was like, I accidentally clicked on it. I don't know how it popped up there. It's an ad, right? Him and my mother sat me down for a talk. They're like, hey, we noticed this is what you're watching. Guys in their underwear, and we know that as you get older, you're gonna have some questions about your body, other people's bodies, and we want you to feel comfortable to come to us about those questions and never feel ashamed. But come to us about questions. You don't have to be looking at weird videos on YouTube. I was like, all right, cool. Just relieved that at the time, they had only seen me looking up the guy stuff and they had not seen the girl stuff. I'm pretty sure I deleted like my browser history and all that. So I thought that was a little ironic. I got that funny fuzzy feeling in my stomach when I was looking up those suggestive things online. But it was a different way between when I was looking at guys and when I was looking at girls. And when I was just looking at girls, I felt a lot more like goosebumps, like ooh, like hee hee. And with the guys, it felt more like an icky, stomachy feeling. You know, when you're flirting with guys, you get that weird feeling in your stomach, but it's not like a good butterfly feeling. And with girls, it's like a good butterfly feeling. If you know that feeling, like that's how I felt at such a young age. And of course, I would have my Barbies kiss each other. My friends would bring it up years later. Do you remember you made your Barbies kiss each other? They wouldn't kiss Ken. I was like, ah, what? I never really had crushes on girls or any of those feelings because I didn't know girls could like other girls. I just thought I had to like guys. I knew guys could like other guys. I knew guys could be gay, and I thought the term gay just meant guys that liked other guys. And looking back, I definitely had friend crushes on different girls, but in a different way than my friends. But there were 2 or 3 girls looking back on it I had crushes on them. I thought they were pretty. There was this one girl that played soccer. You know how I am with my soccer girls. So I didn't really have any immediate girl crushes that I knew about in elementary school. I liked some guys, but it was more like a friend thing. Like when you're that little, you don't have genuine attraction to other people. And that more comes with puberty, more when you get into middle school, which is the next part we'll be talking about. 6th grade, I have a phone, which means I can start getting social media. I really wanted Pinterest. I would start looking at memes, and a lot of them were like Tumblr screenshots. So it was just funny text posts that I would look at. I would see Tumblr screenshots posting about like the LGBTQ community, and I started learning about all these identities. I knew gay meant like guys could like other guys, but I didn't realize girls could be gay. Girls could like other girls, and I was like, well, I can't like other girls because I like guys. Then I realized there's a whole array of identities. So I came across the term bisexual, where a girl can like both girls and guys, and I was like, well, I could see that for myself because I've liked guys before, but like I could see myself, you know, dating a girl, kissing a girl, that type of thing. I would look at all these like text posts, people talking about their experiences. Then I'd watch YouTube videos about like people's coming out stories, how they knew their first, you know, kisses and experiences with people. Since I thought I was bi, I was like, well, I have to see if I find girls attractive, right? And there was this girl in my 6th grade PE class. I was like kind of attracted to this girl. She was pretty, she was tall, she was like kind of athletic. And I was like, I think that confirmed my interest, that I can find girls attractive. I hadn't told anyone how I felt about this. It was just something I was kind of living with. It felt like a really big secret. I was having a sleepover with my best friend at the time, Charlotte, who's one of my best friends now. It was the summer between 6th and 7th grade. And I think we were playing like Truth or Dare. We were doing each other's makeup and we were just dilly-dallying. And then it gets to that point where we're saying, truth, like what's your biggest secret? I told anyone this, but I think I'm bisexual. Like I think I like both guys and girls. And she was like, oh, okay, like that's cool. Like she's pretty neutral about it. Based on all these videos I had seen about people's coming out stories, I was so freaked out that she was gonna like take it in a weird way and think I was into her, to be my friend anymore. After that sleepover, she had her birthday party in the summer. This was right before 7th grade. And then we didn't have any classes together. I thought she hated me. And then we stopped hanging out and hadn't talked until sophomore year of high school, and then became best friends all over again. I really thought we weren't friends anymore after that sleepover, and I was so in my head about like, oh, if I tell people, they're gonna be so like grossed out by me, that I'm into my friends, and that's just not how it is. Then in 7th grade, I had PE with 2 of my friends. One of them I had been friends with since 6th grade. The other one I had just met at the beginning of the year. 2 of them were in soccer together, but since I was friends with the first girl, the 3 of us just started like hanging out. Girl that I hadn't known for that long, started getting pretty close friend-wise. Fall going into winter, I started getting feelings for her. Me and the girl I liked, we would start hanging out like one-on-one, and we'd have sleepovers and we'd cuddle and hang out. And she had a boyfriend at the time, and she would tell me about how she really liked him and they would kiss each other, but I was like, this can't be real because I know she likes me too. I had this dry erase board in my locker at school. She knew the combo to my locker, so she'd go to my locker and write me cute little notes. She'd always like say nice things to me about like, oh, you're so pretty. Write nice little notes on the board, like, you know, telling me to have a good day, and, you know, draw little hearts on it. And we'd text each other and send the kissy face back and forth. We'd be in the locker room. She would playfully like spank my butt. We're very physical touch people. Like whenever we were sitting in PE waiting for instructions, like our legs would be on top of each other, we'd be hugging each other. Obviously I couldn't tell her that I possibly liked girls because then she would know I liked her. And I hung out with my first friend, and she was like, I feel like you two are like always hanging out with each other and I'm never included. So I had to tell her, listen, I think I like girls and guys. I like this girl, so that's why we've been hanging out a lot, is I really like her. The first girl was so supportive of that. She was like, oh my god, like I'm rooting for you guys, like I ship you guys need to be a thing. I was like, oh, thanks girl. And we're still friends to this day. I had brought up to my brother, I told Charlotte, but I think I'm bi, and he's like, what does that mean? I was like, it's when you like both guys and girls. He was like, oh yeah, that's really cool, like love who you want. Like he was so neutral about it, and I said it in such a neutral way that we're like, cool, like that's just how me and my brother are. We'll just say things and be like, yeah, cool. Between 6th and 7th grade, like those 2 years, I was really struggling with my identity. Once I figured this out about myself, really hard to accept it for myself, and I needed someone to talk to. So I did that whole cliche thing. I sat my mom down on my bed. I need to tell you something. I'm in tears. She's like, what's wrong? I'm sorry, but I think I'm bisexual. And I'm crying so much. And she's like, why are you apologizing? Why are you crying? Stop doing that. Like, why are you saying you're sorry? I'm like, because I don't want you to like disown me. She's like, you're my kid. I would never do that. I'd seen so many videos and like coming out stories about people getting kicked out and like the statistics about the abuse rate among LGBTQ youth. I was fully expecting the worst to happen. She's like, well, like, you don't really know until you like do stuff with a girl. And I was like in 6th grade, so I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, sex? Gross. And at this point, being in middle school, I had some scenarios going on in my head about this type of thing. I had read so much Wattpad at this point that I was like, I don't think I need to do anything to know. Like, I know that I want to do stuff with girls. So that's how I started coming out. I had told a couple more friends, then they had told their friends, and at that point, a handful of people in my grade at my school knew that I was bi and would come up to me and ask me, and I would get so defensive about it and be like, no, like, who told you that? And it was mainly because like I was insecure about it, and I think I was more open about it my 8th grade year. Didn't really like anyone. And then we get to freshman year of high school. This is when boys started showing interest in me. I didn't know how to feel about it. Flirt back with guys, but feel really weird about it. It just says I imagined myself in scenarios with girls in middle school and it confirmed my interest in them. I'd imagine myself in scenarios with guys, whether it was romantic or sexual. I'd have dreams about it. It was not something I could see myself pursuing. I had some guy friends that I was like, hypothetically, if we were to date and like hold hands in the hallway. It made me feel really weird. It made me feel gross and not something I want to experience. What if I had to kiss a guy? I would think about a couple guys that I was possibly interested in, and again, not a fun feeling. And just as I thought about possibly sexual encounters with girls when I was in middle school, I started thinking about sexual encounters with guys, something that I would think about, have dreams about. And it made me want to throw up. Like, it made me feel violently ill thinking about these things. And I don't even need to try anything with a guy because just thinking about it makes my skin crawl. I would cry myself to sleep because all I wanted was to be attracted to guys like that, possibly have romantic interest in guys, but it's something that I really couldn't bring myself to feel. I was like, I don't think I'm bi, like I think I'm lesbian, and that term made me feel so gross because of how hypersexualized it is. It just felt so weird, like I felt so disconnected from the word, but it was the only thing that could truly describe how I was feeling and how I was identifying. That was like my first half of my freshman year. I had come out to my close friends. After finals, we had come home to my house and we were hanging out, and I told all of them, I couldn't even say the word lesbian. I was just like, you know how I've talked about like being bi, liking guys and girls? I think I just like girls. They were supportive of it, but I still was struggling with accepting it for myself. It was really hard to say the word lesbian, which now I can say with full chest, but it took a long time. It took a good year or two to come around. Once I was comfortable with the fact that I was exclusively into women, I became a lot less defensive about people knowing that I was gay or queer. I used the term queer for a long time. It's an umbrella term. Like, I love that term. I love the idea of not having labels. I'm just comfortable using the term lesbian because people often assume that because I'm girly, I like guys. So I'm comfortable using the term lesbian, but I really stress to people that if you're figuring it out, do not worry about labeling it. Labels are a fucking construct. You don't owe anyone an explanation. I love the idea of just being able to love who you love. That's kind of how I feel about which women I'm attracted to. I feel like saying what kind of girl I like constrains it a lot, puts it in this box. I love who I love, and I don't think one person fits a certain mold, a certain type that I have. I'm attracted to who I'm attracted to as far as women, and I can't really help that. I really don't like to label it in that aspect. As far as my identity, I'm okay with labeling it. For a long time, just said queer, I'm gay, I like who I like girls. I was not worried about labeling it. Once I started feeling that way, I became a lot less defensive about people knowing. My freshman year, I was just who I am. I'm a lot more nonchalant about it, and people started to know, but guys would still flirt with me. In my health class, I sat next to these 3 guys. A couple of them started teasing me about liking girls. I went home crying, and I go get my dad, and he's like, what's wrong? And I was like, these boys were making fun of me. They were teasing me for liking girls. He was like, you know, no matter what you are, gay, straight, bi, black, white, cat, dog, people are gonna give you a hard time. That's just a part of life. Be the bigger person and know that it's coming from their insecurity and because they want to see a reaction. So it's not really personal, it's just like how people are. With my dad, a lot of people ask me how I came out to him. I didn't really come out because I don't believe in coming out. Straight people don't have to do it, so it's always seemed counterintuitive to me. So I never came out to my dad. There's just a few different instances where I'd say certain things the same way a straight person would. My sophomore year, I was like, hey, am I allowed to date? And he was like, I mean, I guess. It depends what you mean by dating. Like, why are you asking? I was like, oh, this girl wants to take me to homecoming, and I just don't know how you feel about me, like, going out with someone. He's like, yeah, that's fine. Like, I don't care. It'd be the same thing if I were to say, like, this guy's taking me to homecoming. Like, is it okay that I'm dating now? There was never an exact moment. My family knows that I'm lesbian because it's just something that we talk about in a normal way as if we were to talk about me being straight. I also forgot to bring up that once I was out to my immediate family, we'd go to Pride and events like that. The first year that my family went out to do one of these Pride events, my dad posted some of the pictures on Facebook. I had my Pride flag. I was hanging out the sunroof of the car. Extended family did not know I was gay, and this was kind of them finding out. Created a lot of gossip and animosity within some of my family members. It definitely changed the dynamic of my extended family. They weren't necessarily homophobic towards me. Well, it's fine because it's Presley, but if it was my kid, like, I wouldn't be okay with it. And the biggest thing that stuck out to me is when I was younger, my family at holidays and events would always be asking if I was into any boys, and little elementary school and middle school me, oh, do you have any crushes? Do you like any guys? Do you have any boyfriends? That type of thing. Ever since those photos were posted on Facebook of me at Pride, my extended family has not asked any questions about me dating or being interested in anyone. It's been how's school, how's dance, and they don't even get into dating because they're uncomfortable by that. So yeah, my extended family still hasn't really come around, but I guess they'll come around by the time I'm marrying a woman, right? My stepmom had brought up the fact that her son is gay, and I was like, oh, if she's accepting of her son, she's not letting me go anywhere. Like, I'm not gonna get kicked out. Nothing bad's gonna happen. Like, I know I'm in a safe space. As much as I don't believe in coming out, I do think it's important to know that you're in a safe environment. Even if they're not understanding at first, they can definitely come around with time. My sophomore and junior year of high school, I started making TikToks about being gay because I had seen a lot of TikToks about people in the community and I thought they were funny and relatable. Once quarantine started, people were just sitting on TikTok, sitting on their phones, so the algorithm was boosting my videos, putting them out to people. My videos started picking up traction, and ever since then I've been posting about it online. I've noticed that it's helped people a lot. I'll make the videos because they're funny to me and I feel like they're really oddly specific and only apply to me, but they apply to thousands of people, and it's such a crazy thing that other people can relate so much to my experiences. I think that's just a part of growing up, is you realize that everyone's gone through the same things. There's no one singular lived experience. You're never really alone. It's been really crazy to see how many people have reached out to me saying that I've like helped them come out or be confident in their identities. I mainly do it for myself. I don't do it for other people, but whenever I get those comments here and there saying that like I help people or that I made their day by seeing this funny video and it brightened their mood up, it motivates me to keep going, because I really just post it because I enjoy doing it. I really shouldn't be doing it for the validation of other people, but when I see people saying that it helps them, it's like, wow, this is bigger than myself. It helps me to keep posting, to know that it helps people on a human level. I remember I got this DM on my birthday a year or two ago. This girl who lives in my area had said that I helped her like come out to her friends and family, and made me cry. The way she crafted the message got me on such a personal, sentimental level. Those comments and DMs stick out every time. I hope this video helps with people that are in that boat and need that support, because I used to be that person on the other side of the screen watching videos like this. Give yourself some time, because now I'm in college and it's taking so much time to get comfortable with that I'm lesbian, that I'm feminine. I always knew I was a very feminine lipstick person. Again, that's a construct. I've always felt very secure in the fact that my gender identity doesn't have to do with my sexual attraction. How I want to dress doesn't have to do with who I like. I like to dress this way for myself. It doesn't have to do with the fact that I like girls. I don't need to dress a certain way because I like girls. I don't have to prove myself to anyone, and I don't owe anyone an explanation, and that's a lesson that's learned with experience and just sitting with it for a long time. One thing that I will say, another piece of advice, is it's okay for identities to change with time. It's fluid, it's a spectrum. You don't have to feel like you were wrong about your identity. Like, I'm confident in the fact that I'm lesbian now, but I'm totally open to the fact that maybe in the future it won't be the same. I'm not putting that pressure on myself because there's no expectations. There's no reason to be hard on yourself about anything, especially identity-wise. If you're young, a lot of people are figuring out who they are, regardless of who they like. People are trying to figure out what they want to dress like, what they want to be, what they want to study, who they want to be friends with, what they want to do as their job, where they want to live, what kind of person they want to be. Everyone's figuring out who they are. Really not alone in the grand scheme of things, but it really does feel like it. I hope that people who are figuring it out and watching this realize that with time. I'm gonna leave you guys off with this one last quote that has gotten me through my whole coming out journey, and that is, "Those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind." And this is the best piece of advice I could give anyone because it's helped me so much. And that's because those who mind don't matter. So those who are uncomfortable by your identity or feel freaked out by it or are judgmental, they don't matter. They don't need to be in your life if they're carrying that negative energy. They're not helping you, they're just bringing you down. And those who matter don't mind. Those people in your life that truly love you and care about you, they're not gonna see you any differently. Those who truly care about you are gonna love you no matter what, no matter who you like, no matter how you dress. They're gonna love you and accept you. So I think that quote just reminds me to surround myself by the right people. That quote has helped me a lot because there were people that were friends with me, and when they found out I was into girls, would stop being friendly with me or give me the cold shoulder. I would still be nice to them, but I wouldn't really pay them that much attention. I hope this video helps out anyone that's possibly trying to figure out themselves or just needs a bit of relatability right now. This has been a long journey. I went all the way back to 2nd grade, 11 years ago. Then I didn't even realize I was bi till like 6th grade. Then I realized I was a lesbian my freshman year of high school. Now it's 4 years later. I'm surrounded by people, every identity possible. It's great to be surrounded by such diversity. Everyone's just supportive of each other. We're all different, but we're all the same. Luckily, I've been in a safe environment my whole life thus far, and I've been confident enough that I don't let those comments get to me. That's the one thing I've never been insecure in, really, is my sexuality, because it doesn't affect anyone. It really only affects me, so I've never really let it get to me. I'm still new to college, so I'm just enjoying making friends, discovering my interests a bit more, focusing on my academics. That's the journey I'm going through right now, is more so like accepting the fact that even though I make content about being a queer woman, it's okay to like not really have an interest in dating right now because I don't need to prove my attraction to anyone. And I'm bigger than my sexual identity. There's so many more dynamic aspects to my personality that I really enjoy about myself, and I firmly believe I would be the same person if I liked guys, if I was straight. A lot of that has just been building confidence in myself and my individuality over the years, which again is not dependent on the fact of my sexual orientation. That's just something that happens as you grow up and figure out who you are. I think that's pretty much all I have to say about that. Please leave some comments down below if you want to see other videos, if this helped you. Again, my DMs are always open, especially on Instagram at Presley Eva, PRESLEYYEVA. But yeah, make sure to follow my TikTok because I talked a lot about that. It's Presley Eva, PRESLEYEVA. Thank you to everyone that supported me thus far, both on my social media journey and in my personal life. I hope this is a successful attempt at paying it forward. Alright, see you guys. Bye!